Hi, everybody. Good afternoon. Welcome to the 4 to 5. Eric, Lauren, and Chad with you today. Lots to talk about.
Lots to talk about. And as you know, we are streaming live on Facebook. Going to be talking about a lot of different things. We'd love to hear you weigh in.
And I think during commercial breaks, Brad, our director, I'm going to try to convince him to put up like the shark camera during the commercial breaks.
Yeah, it's
so
a nice shot.
maybe if you're on Facebook, you'll be seeing some of that today. But oh, there it is right there. Look at how
It's
great
so
that
calming
looks.
when you
I
look
know,
at that,
right? It's better than looking at the radar, right, Eric?
right now. Yeah, we got a little bit going on here. Let's go ahead and talk about our forecast. So yesterday, if you were with us, we were mentioning that probably we'll see more showers and thunderstorms today, more coverage of that. That is yet to happen. And it's so far, and I hate to even say this because you know how that goes, but we'll keep our fingers crossed that we don't see as much as we had yesterday. It's looking pretty good, although that's one really strong cell. Let's go up north, and we're looking in northern Guilford County into Rockingham County, from Reedsville proper, really all along Highway 158 is where that is, stretching across Rockingham County and down towards Summerfield. So that's where we're seeing lightning strikes within that system. So far, not seeing much of the severe criteria to bring that into a severe thunderstorm warning, but we will watch because it is borderline. But northern Guilford County dealing with that. Had a couple of cells around Denton and Asheboro. Those are starting to die out a little bit. There's that one around Randleman too. That'll be moving in for you guys. All of this stuff is drifting east and south, and we think that'll be the case even into the night. Our winds will start to shift as this cold front comes through, and that'll happen during the day today and overnight tonight. And then finally, you could see the break in the clouds and the rain way back up to the north. That's closer to, say, West Virginia and Kentucky. But all of that clearer air is headed our way, and it looks pretty good once we get into Friday. So if you look at the frontal boundaries here, now we're into Friday morning. Here we go into Friday afternoon. That front goes through. Lower humidity, high pressure to the north will clear things out for us. So we'll watch as we go through the next few hours, probably until about 8 o'clock, and then we should be in the clear. 83 for your Friday, and clearing, we're going partly cloudy Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Mid-80s for Saturday, Sunday. Also 84 to 85 for Monday, Tuesday. Back to a normal pattern next week with that 30% chance of a late-day pop-up storm. High temperatures are comfortable and below normal Wednesday, Thursday in the lower 80s. And with all these storms, and it is that time of the year, you want to keep that app close. Remember, it's totally free. You can get all the forecast information updated constantly, even street-level radar right down to your neighborhood. It is free on the Apple Store or Google Play.
Developing now, the Department of Justice is asking a judge to release the warrant used to search former President Trump's home. Attorney General Merrick Garland just spoke moments ago saying that he approved the decision to file the search warrant and wants to release the document because of growing public concern. Several lawmakers and the former president have criticized the department. Garland also addressed those claims today, saying no one's above the law and he won't tolerate attacks on law enforcement.
Let's get to your 4 to 5 roundup. Today, we spoke with the Caswell deputy shot multiple times while trying to serve an order. Investigators say Kevin DeSilva shot Deputy Aaron Tyndall yesterday during an hours-long standoff. Deputy Tyndall says he's doing well and is thankful his fellow officer got him to safety.
Sometimes throughout the day, I sit there and I think about the situation and I get a little emotional. Not so much of what happened, but for the simple fact of who I had there with me, and with him being what we consider a slick sleeve, I'd do just about anything for that officer that was with me, and I owe him quite a bit.
The sheriff's office says the deputies were serving a domestic violence order at a home on Paradise Lane in Samora. When they arrived, investigators say DeSilva came outside and started shooting. Several hours later, DeSilva surrendered. No one else was hurt. DeSilva is in jail under a $10 million bond. Tonight, incumbent Mayor Nancy Vaughn and other Greensboro city leaders will swear into office. The ceremony takes place during the city council meeting at 5:30. Greensboro voters selected the officials in the July 26 municipal election. Big business is booming near the Triad as ground broke on a $650 million casino just 40 miles from here. Developers and city officials gathered today in Danville, Virginia at the development site.
It's going to bring people from all over the world here to Danville to see what we've been saying as a council, as citizens, proud citizens in Danville, Virginia, that Danville is a comeback city. Danville is on the move.
The Eastern Band of Cherokee Indians also says it's joining Caesars Entertainment as a partner. Construction and operational jobs for the site are scheduled to open in 2 years. This is huge, guys. Not only is it a major piece of entertainment coming to our area, but think about all the jobs it's going to create.
A lot of jobs. From what I've heard, it's like over 1,000 possibly. If you think
Like
about the periphery of that,
1,300
right?
I
Is
saw.
that, yeah. And it's, to me, it's a lot of people have problems with this. I do not. I think casinos are a lot of fun. I'm not a huge gambler, but I like to watch people do it. It's just going to draw people from all over. And Danville's downtown, with the river running right through it, as cute as it could be, and they could really, I think, turn into a big deal.
Yeah, and I mean, so, you know, when you hear Danville, Virginia, you think a different state, but I mean, so many of our communities are so close. I mean, some people in Danville, Virginia can actually get our signal. So, I mean, even people from Greensboro and Rockingham County, Guilford County, I mean, Caswell County, this is going to be a big deal. A lot of people I know like to go to casinos. Cherokee is really the closest one to us, and it's hours away, so it'll be nice for a day drive.
And with all those people that are going to be traveling here, think about how it's going to impact the surrounding businesses as well.
Right.
It's just really going to put a spotlight on Danville. You know, we drive through it a lot, and it's not really a city, at least I don't think about it as much because I don't have family there, but I just think it's going to put Danville on the map
It will.
for sure.
And a lot of people that live in Danville work in Greensboro. I mean, they drive
Work
south.
here?
Into, work
Yeah.
here at the station, as a matter of fact.
And I have a friend who works in Danville and lives in Greensboro, so he can go to the casino when he's done with work right then.
On
right?
lunch break.
Yeah, exactly. All right, moving on here. The state's weekly COVID report is showing some encouraging signs. Here, I want to show you this. This graph shows the last 7 weeks of hospitalizations. Here's the graph right here, and here's the end. I highlighted the last day here. Hospitalizations patient count has been above 1,300. Well, look at the last week, a decline of 4 consecutive days. I'm not totally convinced the last day is accurate. That's about 200 fewer patients than the day prior, which is a very significant drop, almost too big. I'll keep my eye on it, but either way, the days that came before it saw some nice declines. The state hasn't reported 4 consecutive declines in a couple of months. For the last 7 weeks, this number has been on a steady incline. From one virus to another, we are hearing about more confirmed monkeypox cases. It might have you wondering about getting a vaccine. Well, our Verify team has some advice when considering this vaccine and the COVID vaccine.
Monkeypox vaccines aren't the only shots top of mind right now. COVID shots, including boosters, are still a priority. So does it matter if you get the two at or around the same time? We went to the CDC, an infectious disease specialist with Novant Health, Dr. David Priest, for some insights.
In general, most vaccines can be given at the same time as this vaccine.
The CDC says in those cases, a person would only have to get the monkeypox shot, also called Jynneos, in a different part of the body as the other vaccine they're getting. But the protocol varies a little when it comes to the COVID vaccines.
Very small numbers of patients with COVID vaccine have had myocarditis, particularly young men. And there's the potential for that with Jynneos vaccine. So the caution is about being careful about using those together.
While the risk for concern is still relatively low, the CDC recommends those with worries over myocarditis or heart inflammation to space their monkeypox and COVID shots out by 4 weeks. Even then, there are exceptions allowing a person to get them closer together.
In a situation where you're a high-risk exposure and we're giving the vaccine as a post-exposure prophylaxis, as we call it, we would give those together. It's a risk benefit.
If you have any questions about your specific case, ask a doctor.
Health leaders have confirmed 3 cases of monkeypox in Guilford County, the most in the Triad. The health department isn't releasing more details about the patients because of privacy rules. The state has confirmed 131 cases at this point, and it's important to note that even though there have been thousands of confirmed cases across the country, there has not been a single confirmed death. Right now, the vaccine is available to people who meet the criteria. The Guilford and Forsyth County Health Departments have doses, but you have to make an appointment first. Go to our website for the vaccine requirements. We'll be right back.
Book bags, calculators, and computers. Back-to-school shopping can be a pain, especially with rising inflation. But supplies aren't the only items kids need to head back to school. A group of small business owners in Greensboro are stepping up to help ease the burden for parents. I went to find out how they're helping students put their best foot forward this school year. Deatra Westmoreland helps others feel more confident for a living. She's the owner of Beyond Brows in Greensboro, a new small business she opened in April.
We specialize in all things beauty, wellness, and self-care. This is just a place where you can come, relax, and leave feeling and looking better than you did when you came in.
With a new school year right around the corner, she wanted to find a way to help students look and feel their best. That's when she got the idea to host a back-to-school shoe drive.
Shoes, which are probably one of the biggest expenses families have when school starts. I just felt like I wanted all kids to go to school feeling confident, and what they wear is like one less thing they have to care about.
Deatra is teaming up with 2 new small businesses in Greensboro to help kids put their best foot forward.
Everything you want right around the corner.
Jamon Reynolds is the owner of Next in Line Training, a business that helps young athletes prepare for the next level.
I think it's important for small businesses to step up, get involved, and give back, because we can never forget we were those kids at one point in time. I created this business solely with the purpose of giving back to the kids, not only athletically and physically, but mentally and emotionally as well.
Michael Elks, the owner of HME Construction, agrees.
It means a lot to me because I've been in that situation where somebody has given me something that really meant a lot to me, and I think it's our duty to give back when we can.
And giving back to others is what Deatra says it's all about. The businesses are looking for tennis shoes, dress shoes, and sandals for grades K through 12. They can be dropped off at Beyond Brows on Liberty Road through August 20th. And all the shoes will be disinfected before they are distributed on August 20th. For more details on how to get involved, just look for the story on our website.
And shoes are not cheap.
They are not, especially if you want a good durable shoe that's going to last you throughout the school year. You're looking at maybe $50 to $100.
I know, and especially if you go for big tennis shoes,
Yeah.
if you're a sneakerhead, then you're spending hundreds on a pair of shoes.
I was always the kid that I wanted like the Nikes or the Adidas shoes. You know, it wasn't like I wanted like the off-brand. So, I mean, that was definitely one of the things that we would splurge on, where it was a pair of shoes.
That was I got one a year at the beginning of the year, and it could be a nice pair, but they still would never get me like the real Air Jordans because they were so
They
expensive.
are expensive,
Very
especially
expensive.
if you had multiple siblings
Right.
that were in
I
school
was
at
one
the
of
same
5,
time.
yep.
It's going to be pretty pricey, but like they said, when you put on a pair of shoes, you just feel good about yourself. You feel fly, you look in the mirror like, I can take on the world with these shoes. So they're hoping to do that for a lot of kids. They have a goal of collecting at least 200 pairs of gently used or new shoes.
That's a lot.
That's a lot.
Of shoes,
And they got a couple weeks to get it done. So if you're interested in getting involved, just look for this story on our website.
Yeah, absolutely. And we are doing our part to help students and teachers start the year right with our Tools for School drive. You can put newly purchased supplies in donation boxes at Walmart stores. We'll also have a one-day supply drive at the Walmart on Battleground Avenue on August 24th. The supply drive runs through September 5th. We also want to hear the concerns of parents with school-age kids. Just text the word survey to 336-379-5775 and we will respond with a link to our parent survey. We'll be right back.
Couple of storms moving across the central parts of the viewing area, and we're seeing temperatures. Yeah, Walnut Cove had a little rain earlier. They're at 75. Meanwhile, Greensboro at 86, Burlington 87, Asheboro 84, Lexington 86. In the foothills, we have Mount Airy at 81, and Wilkesboro in the mountains at 82. Severe thunderstorm risk, just to let you know, the Storm Prediction Center now has us in non-severe, so that's good stuff. We'll see some of the storm. It doesn't mean that we will not see an isolated thunderstorm that could go severe in nature. But for now, we're looking at this. This is the heaviest cell that we see stretching down really Highway 29 from Reedsville heading back down south toward Greensboro, and Summerfield getting some showers as well. A lot of the lightning strikes with this, though, literally right at the county line between Guilford and Rockingham County on Highway 29. That's where we see it. It's drifting south and east, so look for Alamance County. That's probably going to move through Altamaha and Ossipee area and then straight down to Mebane and Burlington in the next 30 minutes or so, maybe even a little bit less than that, depending on how fast it picks up. A couple of cells around Randleman and Asheboro. Again, these are just kind of hit or miss, widely scattered thunderstorms, so we're not complaining about that. More of this awaits us. We have the risk until probably 8 o'clock tonight, maybe 9 o'clock at the latest. Behind that, though, look at all the clear skies. Thanks to the big high pressure ridge that resides to the north, pushes all these two fronts, by the way. Two fronts come through on your Friday. It looks good. Technically less than a 20% chance of a shower on Friday. I'm not putting that in the forecast because I really don't think it's going to amount to much, but that is something that we'll watch. For now, let's leave that out, but 83 degrees for your Friday. That is a good bit cooler than those 90s we were seeing for so long. Overnight lows dropped too, 62 and 61 for Saturday and Sunday morning. That means our mountain communities could see some upper 50s there. High temperature Saturday, Sunday, and we're looking at sunny to partly cloudy skies. That's Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Next week, back to a more normal pattern, although temperature is still cooperating here, low to mid 80s. That's better than our normal high of 87. And we'll throw in that 30% chance, a typical summertime forecast of just an isolated late day shower or storm. Otherwise, it's partly cloudy. Overnight lows pretty much lock in the mid 60s for most of next week. All right, let's talk about the app. You need this. Even though we're seeing a couple of thunderstorms, we still have that risk, right? As late as 8 or 9 o'clock tonight. It's totally free. You download that app on the Apple Store or in Google Play, and you'll be able to get street level radar right down to your neighborhood.
Prolonged inflation is driving more pain at the pump. Even minor relief doesn't do much for distance drivers who spend hundreds of dollars a month on gas.
Just think about the people driving big trucks who travel up and down the highway. They're feeling the impact tenfold. WFMY News 2's Megan Malaris dives deeper into the dirt on diesel.
It's time to verify. Gas prices are finally pumping out some stability, though nationwide they are much higher than this time last summer. But we're seeing prices tick back below $4 in most locations. And a viewer noticed the price change and also the big price disparity between fuel types. Kenneth Craven asked, why is diesel price higher than gasoline? Many years ago, diesel was much cheaper because it supposedly was the leftover product of refining. So is it true diesel used to be more expensive than gas? Our sources are Patrick DeHaan with Gas Buddy and the U.S. Energy Information Administration, known by its acronym EIA. They confirm it's true. This EIA chart shows diesel prices below $2 before 2005, but a steady incline since then. Prices peaked in the 2008 and 2022 economic downturns. The EIA explains in the early 2000s, the average diesel price was often lower than regular gas, except during really cold winters. Ever since September 2004, three factors have flipped the trend. Demand for diesel increased throughout the world. The federal excise tax on diesel became 6 cents higher than that of regular gas, and the U.S. transitioned to ultra-low sulfur diesel, affecting diesel production and distribution.
You'll remember back in the 80s and 90s, diesel used to be sooty. It would burn completely different. Now there's a lot of clean diesel. That is, diesel has really cleaned up in terms of the specifications, the sulfur content. A lot of that sulfur has been removed, and it comes at a great cost. Cleaning up that fuel has cost billions of dollars in new emissions equipment at refineries.
That's why DeHaan said diesel prices will remain more expensive than gas for the foreseeable future, and it's advantageous for manufacturers to keep producing it.
Because in essence, diesel, which many consider used to be a byproduct of trying to produce gasoline, is not really a byproduct at all. In fact, refineries in many instances have been trying to produce more diesel than they have gasoline because diesel prices have been higher.
In conclusion, we verified, yes, it's true. Diesel used to be cheaper than gas, but that changed in the early 2000s, primarily because emission standards became stricter. And even though diesel is now the cleaner fuel option, it cannot go into cars. In fact, most diesel pumps won't even fit into a standard car's gas tank because diesel will destroy the engine. With your Verify, I'm Megan Malaris.
Certainly mess up your car. I've done enough stories on people who accidentally somehow got diesel fuel in their car that was supposed to take regular gas. It's not good.
I am so glad that they made the nozzle a different size.
Yes.
Because I have multiple times just, been doing my thing, not paying attention, probably on the phone or something, and then tried to put it in there and it wouldn't fit.
Good thing.
Good thing.
Ruined your car.
Would have saved you thousands of dollars.
But I do remember, especially in like the 80s and 90s, when people's their cars did take diesel. That was a selling point back then because it was cheaper, and also I think you got more gas mileage for the tank than you did others, because Volkswagens, I know they had a lot of diesel cars and people loved it, but now it costs you too much.
I'm hoping with these prices going down, we're going to see it in the stores as well, because the people who drive these trucks, they're paying like $600, $800 to fill their trucks, which is making people, the prices in stores go up, so they can get their job done. So I'm hoping things are going to be cheaper.
Even the companies that are paying the gas for the driver, some of them do that. I mean, they can't handle it. Their profit margins are
Some of those independent drivers had to kind of put it to the side. Yeah,
that's true.
I went and filled up before work today, and I was glad to see it was $3.99. I mean, drop below $4. So I'll
take it.
I was glad to see that.
Hopefully it lasts long.
I'll cry every time I fill up. All right, we'll take a short break. We'll be right back.
The game of basketball has taken Anthony Gill all over the world, and now he and his family live in Washington, D.C.
Is this on?
It is. It's on.
I don't see anything. Mic check, 1, 2, 3. Mic check, mic check, mic check. Mic check. Mic check. Mic check.
According to Gill, this event and more like it will be coming to High Point in the near future. Can you hear me, bro? I've been talking. Can you hear me? Can you hear me? Well, I'm on the way to join 2 more.
Hi there, everybody. Welcome back to the 4 to 5. Eric Chilton, Chad Silver, Lauren Coleman, and Jalen Gilkey's hiding behind the camera right over there.
You'll see him in a little bit.
You'll see him in a little bit. Thanks for watching us on WFMY News 2, Fire Stick, Roku, and we're also on the News 2 app.
And if you're watching on Facebook, our director Brad has been giving us a treat. He has been showing the camera from inside the Greensboro Science Center when it's on the Shark Tank during commercial break. So come on over there. That's right. Say hello. And enjoy the sharks.
It's like an animated wallpaper.
Right, and if you're at the Science Center, you don't have to worry about the weather, right?
That's right. Climate controlled 72 degrees in there. Yeah, let's talk about the radar because that's really what we're focused on this evening. We've been talking for the last couple of days about that cold front that's moving through as we speak, as a matter of fact. There's a secondary front behind it that'll drop our humidity down, so we'll definitely see those humidity levels drop, and we love that, don't we? Perfect for the weekend, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. We're in the mid-80s in Winston and Greensboro right now, 87 in Burlington, 86 for Lexington and Asheboro. Best news of the day is that the Storm Prediction Center put us in a non-severe risk, which means you'll see thunderstorms, but maybe they won't go severe, so we'd have a severe thunderstorm warning. We have not seen that just yet, but this one pretty big here. It's in northeastern parts of Guilford County right now, right along Highway 29, really close to our TV station, as a matter of fact. And as you head up 29 north and east toward Reedsville, that's where you'll see most of that lightning. It has lost a little bit of its kick, and really it stretches also. The front leading edge of this is from McLeansville to Altamaha. In Burlington, you're going to get that in about the next 20 minutes or so. That's the only major cell that we've seen. There's more that can develop, but a couple of showers also down in Randolph County. That's Randleman down to Asheboro, and a little bit in Denton. But overall, keep fingers crossed. We're good for now. This could go as late, the thunderstorm activity that is, as late as maybe 8 or 9 o'clock tonight. And then you see the back edge of this front. So the first front will move through. Second front is really more of a kind of a reinforcing shot of lower humidity and cooler air. And that high to the north around the Great Lakes sinks to the south, and that controls our forecast. And boy, does it make for a beautiful, beautiful weekend. Here's what the 7-day looks like with 83 for your Friday. We're going sunny to partly cloudy. That'll be Friday, Saturday, and Sunday with good temperatures, 83 and 84. Same story next week, 85 Monday, 84 Tuesday, and 83 for Wednesday, Thursday. All of those days, the rain chances return, but that's a normal isolated late day, about a 30% chance of a shower or late day storm. One thing to note with overnight lows, Sunday morning, the coolest morning, and mountain communities could see some upper 50s, the Triad calling for 61. If you want to track these storms today, you download the WFMY News 2 app, and that weather app is totally free in the Apple Store or Google Play, and that will give you street level radar and all the watches and warnings right in the palm of your hand.
Let's get to your 4 to 5 roundup. Today, we spoke with the Caswell deputy shot multiple times while trying to serve an order. Investigators say Kevin De Silva shot Deputy Aaron Tyndall yesterday during an hours-long standoff. Deputies say Tyndall is doing well and is thankful his fellow officer got him to safety.
Sometimes throughout the day, sit there and I think about the situation and I get a little emotional. Not so much of what happened, but for the simple fact of who I had there with me, and with him being what we consider a slick sleeve, I'd do just about anything for that officer that was with me, and I owe him quite a bit.
The sheriff's office says the deputies were serving a domestic violence order at a home on Paradise Lane in Samora. When they arrived, investigators say De Silva came outside and started shooting. Several hours later, De Silva surrendered. No one else was hurt. De Silva is in jail under a $10 million bond.
Winston-Salem Forsyth County Schools has a new approach to safety. Law enforcement and city leaders trained today on what's called a standard response protocol. It lays out response tactics for weather events, fires, accidents, intruders, and other threats to student safety. The procedure comes from the I Love You Foundation, started by parents who lost their child in a school shooting. The new protocol starts this school year. Construction teams laid the final beam today at the new maternal center at Navon Health Kernersville. The new building will have a birthing center, a heart and vascular lab, and more beds for inpatient care. Navon also recently launched an around-the-clock maternal mental health hotline. The High Point Health Department is holding vaccine clinics for students. Today's clinic ends at 6:30. Whether you use a clinic or your pediatrician's office, doctors say it's just important to get immunized.
Triad students were in for a big surprise today. High Point native and Washington Wizards forward Anthony Gill stopped by his old stomping grounds with a special back-to-school treat. WFMY News 2's Jalen Gilkey was there to catch it all.
Yellow, and the game of basketball has taken Anthony Gill all over the world, and now he and his family live in Washington, D.C. But if you ask Gill, he'll tell you High Point will forever be home.
This place is special to me. My family's from here. My kids, you know, we keep them around here so they know, you know, my grandma, she still lives here, both of them. We have cousins, uncles, aunts, everybody lives here. So this is a special place for me.
So Gil decided to give back to the students of the very elementary school he went to.
Parkview, you know, they gave me the foundation that I have right now. You know, my sisters went here, both my sisters went here, a lot of my family members went here, and it gave us the foundation that we grew up on and the principles that we live our life on now.
When Gil wanted to organize a back-to-school event for the kids of Parkview Village Elementary, he knew exactly who to call.
It's special for me because I know Anthony. Right. So I'm not looking at him as being a big-time ball player. You know, he's just Anthony. High Point is just one big family. We need to stick together, make sure that our kids are succeeding, you know, they're moving up in life.
Making sure the kids of High Point have what they needed for school was a no-brainer for Gil.
I don't want them to think like there's this tall guy here, you know, doing whatever. I just want them to know like I love them, and that's it. You know, and a lot of times throughout life, a lot of people grow up and they don't feel that they're loved. And I want them to come out here today. That's why I brought my whole family out here to let them know that they're loved, and we're gonna love on them the best we can.
According to Gil, this event and more like it will be coming to High Point in the very near future.
Love seeing a fellow Wahoo give back.
And so it was funny. I actually told him I had a colleague who is a Wahoo as well, and he just got all excited. And he started asking when you graduate. I didn't have all the information, but yeah.
I don't know about you guys, but obviously, you know, we are not quite the celebrity status as Mr. Gill. But I love going back to my school. You just have that hometown pride, that hometown, that school feel, and I mean, it's so great that he's doing so much.
And the kids had to be so excited, especially the ones who might aspire to be a basketball player or be a professional athlete. Just to see him give back, that's got to give them some energy.
It was very cool to see. It was a couple young men out there. They walked up to him. They were like, "You're tall." It's like, "You play basketball?" And he was like, "Yeah," and they did the whole thing. It was great to see. Just the connection that he was able to build with kids that are familiar with his area, and he's familiar with their upbringing.
I love the soundbite from the gentleman who worked there. He's like, they look at him like a celebrity, and he's like, "I know him. I'm not going to call him a celebrity."
Yeah, he said he's known Anthony literally since the first day he walked through the hallways of Parkview.
Wow, they've got to be proud just to see him go on and accomplish these great things, and still, you know, remember where he came from and continue to give back. So.
Absolutely, and that was the overall theme of the day, was just pride and joy, and everybody was smiling, having a good time, and just reminiscing. You know, his sisters and his family were there. They're all from High Point. It was just a big family reunion.
Such a great story. Well, keeping it with schools, we're helping students and teachers start the school year right this year with our Tools for School drive. For 25 years, we've collected supplies for students heading back to school. You can put newly purchased supplies in donation boxes at Walmart stores. We'll also have a one-day supply drive at the Walmart on Battleground Avenue. That's on August 24th. The supply drive runs through September 5th. We also want to hear the concerns of parents with school-age children. Text the word survey to this number, 336-379-5775, and we'll respond with a link to our parent survey.
Today is the day. The Carolina Panthers return to Bank of America Stadium tonight for Fan Fest, a night for fans to enjoy practice and entertainment. WFMY News 2's Amanda Ferguson is at the bank with a preview. Hey, Amanda.
Hey, it is almost that time of year again. Football about to start. The Carolina Panthers getting ready for Fan Fest tonight. Now, look, they just got back from training camp in Spartanburg just yesterday. So let's take a look at camp as a whole. The guys away from their families and friends down in Spartanburg to really use this time to bond. Head coach Matt Rule wanted to see some urgency, especially from his veterans. He says the team got everything they wanted to out of camp. So on that note, who's the MVP of camp?
Moten. I think Moten's taken the next step to becoming the dominant player he's capable of, and his leadership is being felt. And you know, he's the guy who addresses the team about things like, hey, make sure we keep this area clean, or hey guys, da 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 da. And his public speaking has just, it's soared through the roof from where it started to where it is now. And I would say Brian Burns, because he's taken over the role of, the role of entertainment director.
Now, speaking of entertainment, we're going to see a lot of that tonight. It may not be from Brian Burns necessarily, but we're going to see practice. We'll see some fireworks and a laser show afterward. And before all of that, we're going to see the Top Cats perform. So a lot going on here today. We're going to try to take you inside for all of that because it starts at 6, and we'll take you to that coming up at 6.
Jealous.
I love Fan Fest. It is just because I think it's really just kind of the official kickoff to the football season. It's when fans can actually see the players. You can talk to them sometimes, get autographs. I love this day.
I've never been. I can't, and I hate to say it because I love the Panthers, and I have never made I've got to go down one year.
It's all fine and good who's the leader of training camp. We want to know who's going to be the quarterback.
That's right.
That's the question that we need to know.
And we're stacked, but we've got a lot of quarterbacks.
We got a lot of options.
Do you think, I'm curious because you know this better than I do, Jalen, but do you think that, like, if you're number 3 and 4 on the quarterback list, maybe even especially number 4, are you already shopping?
Number 4 is probably going home.
Yeah.
But number 3, Matt Corral, I wouldn't be surprised if there was a scenario that he found himself getting some action somewhere in the season.
It's interesting.
They just drafted him this year, so they're not going to let him go.
Yeah, that's true. Not that quickly. Yeah. I don't know. To me, it has to be Baker in my mind.
And
you would think so, right?
Yeah. We know someone will get hurt, right? So that's just
the nature of the beast.
Right. Yeah, that's just how it goes. I'm also glad that going back to Fan Fest that it's just $5 to get in.
Yep.
For a lot of people, going to a game is not realistic if you've got a family, and so this is a great opportunity to be able to be up close with them in Bank of America Stadium for $5.
Plus, it's a show. As much as
absolutely.
it is, it's a celebration. It's fun.
That's a great point, though, Chad, because like you said, probably the cheapest ticket in the house on a Sunday is probably what, $100-something
at least.
So $5, we got 6 kids, we make it happen.
Right.
We put together $40, we're gonna have a good time at the bank.
Absolutely.
And you'll pay $20 for a soda, but whatever, you're gonna be all right.
We're gonna eat before.
That's right. Yeah, exactly right. That's my man thinking right there.
Well, as you know, we are the official home of the Carolina Panthers. We are airing Fan Fest tonight live from 7 to 9. Of course, this will impact regular programming. Young Sheldon, Ghosts, Wheel of Fortune, and Jeopardy will air early tomorrow morning, starting at 1:38 a.m. We're also airing all 3 preseason games for the Panthers. The first is this Saturday at 1 p.m. against Washington. And we will be right back. You probably heard the Inflation Reduction Act passed the Senate over the weekend along party lines. Supporters say it could bring relief to rising energy and healthcare costs. Opponents say it's a taxing and spending spree. At least one provision didn't make the final cut. Republican senators removed the part that would have capped insulin prices for everyone at $35 a month. Instead, the cap will only apply to people on Medicare, not those with private insurance. The bill now heads to the House, where it could be discussed as soon as tomorrow.
Right now, Social Security recipients are feeling the burn amid rising inflation, but experts say more help could be on the way.
When the government reported that the annual inflation rate dipped from 9.1 to 8.5% in July, there was a sigh of relief. But many Americans, especially retirees living on fixed incomes, are still struggling with high prices. Here's why. The Social Security Administration calculates annual cost of living adjustments, or COLA, by looking at the previous year's third quarter inflation data and comparing it to the current year's third quarter numbers. That's how they determine the increase for the following year. The COLA calculated for 2022 was 5.9%. But with prices up 8.5% overall, you can see why so many are facing a shortfall. But there may be a glimmer of hope. While we only have 1 month of data for the third quarter of this year, it's already showing a big increase from last year. When the Social Security Administration announces COLA for 2023 in mid-October, it could be over 9%. That would be the biggest increase since 1981. For example, that would boost a monthly payment of $1,600 to more than $1,700. And if, as expected, the rate of inflation comes down throughout this year and next, then Social Security recipients would get to keep the higher COLA amount, and that should help them replenish their savings next year.
So you have a lot of thoughts about this.
Well, about two. One is, how far away am I from that?
Right.
It's funny because you don't think about this until you're approaching that. I'm not quite there yet, but I did know that, or what I thought was that you don't get raises. I thought once you lock in at Social Security, whatever you are going to get paid, you get paid. So now I understand that. But think about when inflation hits, and if you're stuck at a level and you can't go but so high, that's even worse than. I mean, you know, they can't get any more.
It's a fixed income for sure.
It is a fixed income.
There's so many angles to this inflation
Yes.
thing. It's literally impacting everything in our lives.
So I met a guy the other night. I was having dinner and we started talking. He's a financial guy, and I'm like, explain to me why when they raise the federal interest rates, how does that affect? He went through about a 5-minute explanation, and I still don't know what it means.
You were like, okay.
I was like, yeah, I shook my head a lot. Like, okay.
You know when you do the fake chuckle, like, yeah. Yeah.
I was like,
you don't know what people are talking about.
It's nice that I don't have to really know much about it right now.
Yeah.
And I just really hope that by the time I get there, first of all, there'll be money left in the
Yes.
pot,
Yes.
but then also that it'll make more sense.
Well, I had college professors telling even me, they said, you don't count on Social Security, it won't be there for you. So it looks like it will be, but I know the numbers have dropped in what you're going to get. And if you don't know this, if you take Social Security the earliest time they allow you to take it, you'll get much less than you do if you wait. But they want you to wait till you're 70 to get the full amount. No.
Forget about it.
Yeah, I can't wait till 70.
Got to put that 401k to good use,
That's
right?
exactly right. Exactly right.
We'll be right back.
No, you putting me up. Did you cut the music out? You cut the music out. We were jamming. Look, I can go back and see what's going on with the Sharks, though. Couple of thunderstorms moving through parts of Guilford and Alamance County, also Rockingham as well. This has been the strongest complex that we've seen pretty much all afternoon. Looking good so far. I mean, this is a big one, but it's not as widespread across the entire viewing area as what we were talking about yesterday. Things are calming down a bit. Still not in the clear yet, but we're watching. And this is, as you can see, heading on 40 east, going right through Burlington and 85 as well. That's where we're seeing this rain, right at the Guilford and Alamance line. So Mebane is probably getting a lot of shower and lightning activity right now. Some wind gusts within those systems, 40 miles per hour or so, but they could gust up to 50 or 60 if these storms hold together. Moving to the east at a pretty decent clip. We've got a little more developing back to the west, southwestern Forsyth County, and then just to the east of Winston-Salem. Once you head out of downtown on 40, heading east toward Greensboro, you'll see that. And if you're heading south toward Lexington, there's that 285, that interstate, and we're seeing a shower or two just to the east of Arcadia, but still north of Lexington. All of this pushing to the east-southeast at about 20 miles per hour. So watch for those. We could see more developing back behind it. In fact, we think this risk will run tonight as late as, say, 8 or 9 o'clock. Then things will calm down. Now, good stuff after this. Once we get this front through, and it's actually two different cold fronts, here they are. Once this second one pushes through on your Friday, I think we are in the clear. Lower humidity, lots of sunshine. It looks really nice as we head into your weekend. One of the best 3-day stretches we've seen in a weekend in a long time. We'll go with 83 degrees on your Friday. Look at these overnight lows too. The coolest one is Sunday morning, and that'll be 61 for the Triad, which means in our mountain communities and maybe even the foothill regions and southern Virginia counties, we could see some upper 50s for overnight lows. So that Sunday morning low will feel great. Lower humidity through your weekend, 84 for your high for Saturday, Sunday. Look for sunny to partly cloudy skies for the entire weekend. Next week, we go back to a more normal situation as far as a summertime forecast. You're looking at a 30% chance of a late day pop-up isolated storm or shower. That is normal, which means during the day, it'll be like it was today, just partly cloudy to variably cloudy, and then that late day pop-up shower. 85 Monday, 84 Tuesday, and we'll see those temperatures go back down to 83, the normal high 87, and we'll lock in at 83 for Wednesday and Thursday of next week. And don't forget this app, because we're still not in the clear, right? Got a couple more hours with these thunderstorms. Totally free, our WFMY News 2 weather app. You can get that in the App Store or on Google Play. You'll get street level radar, so you can track it neighborhood by neighborhood if you want to. All the watches and warnings and even traffic updates.
I also heard something about basketball, so maybe he's a basketball coach?
No, he's a professional basketball player.
Hello, checking the mic. Mic 1 2 1 2 1 2.
Hey there, Minnesota, Mississippi, Missouri, Montana, Nebraska, Nevada.
Thing. Oh, sorry. There we go.
Yeah, when I turned my head.
Mic check 1 2 1 2 3.
She says she doesn't have my second SOT. Hey, Claire, can you hear me? Hey.
I want to talk about a difficult topic today, cancer. My friend Greta has been struggling in her battle against breast cancer. We first met years ago when I started the Silver Bells Tour. For those who aren't familiar, it's a week-long event I've done for years where I go around to different Triad cities in December and ring the red kettle bell for the Salvation Army. Unfortunately, it's been a few years since I've done it because of the pandemic. Well, during one of my first years doing this, I met Greta as she worked for the Asheboro chapter of the Salvation Army. She lit up a room and had a personality to match. We got along instantly as we planned my Silver Bells stop in Asheboro. We stayed in touch ever since. A couple years ago, she told me she'd been diagnosed with cancer. I was devastated. She'd spend the next 2 years riding the highs and lows of battling the disease. This past Monday, she went into hospice care. I made plans to visit her on Wednesday, but she passed on Tuesday night. I missed her by 12 hours. No one really knew how much longer she had on this earth, but if you think about it, that can be said for anyone. Life is so short. Make sure you don't waste it. That's just my 2 cents. And your 4 to 5. WFMY News 2 at 5 starts right now.
Grand scheme of things, still breathing, still kicking.
A deputy on the road to recovery after he was shot while serving an order. An update on how he's doing.
A meeting of the minds to keep your students safe. How one local school district is making sure everyone is on the same page. Plus, breaking ground on a new casino, when it'll open and what it'll mean for the Triad.
But first, this evening, we're watching for some storms expected to move